It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Captain Caveman!
Okay, that's funny you mentioned that because I just watched the other night. I watched Scoob after Andy and I got into it with the whole Pirates of the Caribbean Scoob thing. Because Captain Caveman is in Scoob, voiced by Tracy Morgan, which I was caught off guard by. But that is one of those things. It's a challenge to do when you have such an iconic voice, you know, and a trademark, you know, it would be like recasting, you know, The Simpsons and having somebody else say, "Eat my shorts, man." It won't. You know, and as much as he did the Captain Caveman thing, it just fell short of that. But
I agree. I'm a little bit of a voice actor snob. I think voice actors are some of the most talented people in the business, and yet they get so little respect for it too. And so when you have a big thing and you take away all the major roles from the people who have been doing it for the last 10, 15 years, and you give it to everybody except Frank Welker. God bless Frank Welker. Long may he live. But the fact that all the rest of them don't even get anything in it was like, you know what? Matthew Lillard is a fantastic Shaggy, and he should have been in that movie. I actually had much warmer feelings towards Scoob than the rest of the panel last week. When I first saw the trailer, I thought that this was going to be the Hanna-Barbera Lego movie. Because you see all the cameos and everything. I'm like, this is a way to bring all the characters back and make them relevant and have them in the same universe and have them interacting and stuff too. And they did a little of that. Right. But it was more like fan service, because they would just have like a poster or an homage of that, and I go, that's from look, it's Top Cat, and there's all these things for these. Because like if ever there was a big gap in the collective consciousness, it's the Hanna-Barbera characters, because nobody knows. You say Huckleberry Hound and you just get dead stares from anybody younger than 40. And we only saw it because it was the reruns.
There was nothing else on TV on Saturday mornings or afternoons or after school
third
afternoons.
Run, fourth run by the time we saw it.
Yes, that's the thing that, I sort of miss out on, is that, sitting down with a big bowl of cereal and just like chowing down and spending, what was it, like 90 minutes with the Smurfs?
Yeah, right.
Something like
and
that.
And the Snorks.
And the Snorks. Those are Saturday mornings. Those are the Saturday mornings.
I've had an endless amount of delight going to my 12-year-old and saying, "Let me tell you some of the other shows." I said, "This is what we call Turbo Teen." And so I know a lot of the listeners are like, "What are you talking about?" But seriously,
look it up.
Look that up on YouTube, because you won't believe that was a show that lasted like 13 episodes at least, maybe more. Or like going, there was a series called Rubik the Amazing Cube about a Rubik's Cube that took a group of kids around to have adventures with. Let me tell you about Hammerman. That's right. MC Hammer as a superhero with magic shoes. Yes. And then, that's why one of my, topics to talk about last week was the Jason and Friends Saturday morning cartoon show for Friday the 13th. So good.
Rob, you got to check it out.
I'm in. That's all right.
Start making a list.
All right. But we've got new news for this week. We've got late breaking news.
That's right.
Kyle, this was your find.
That's right. Here on this fine Saturday morning. I know. Yes. Thank you for all taking time out of the DC fandom to listen to Satmat. Because I know that's where I currently am, because I'm in two places at once.
Exactly.
So as we were going to press, as much as I've loved following the machinations of the New Mutants and the movie that doesn't really exist, it's Schrodinger's movie. Does it exist? The movie that really defines the thing of, is this really a movie or is it just a collective pipe dream, is the Flash movie. And I actually went, because the news that came out about the Flash movie, the Flash movie has had quite the convoluted development cycle, and I did my research just to find out, because this is what we do on Monday, Marvel Movie Minute, so I thought I'll apply it to DC as well. This movie has had 7 directors. And that I'm only counting from when it was announced as part of the DCEU. 7 different directors, including one twice. Came on, signed on, probably got paid, and then left, and then came on again, got paid, and left again. So is this movie actually really going to happen? I don't know, but they're announcing casting, so I guess that's a good sign. And what they announced today is Ben Affleck is reprising his role as the Batman.
Is he though? Is he the Batman? Because I heard something about Michael Keaton also being in this.
Apparently, Michael Keaton is also in this as
Batman. Now, are they both Batman?
And apparently, at one point, Gal Gadot was in it as Wonder Woman as well.
Okay.
Well, wait, you're missing even the bigger point. This story also confirms that Ezra Miller is back, which
that's true.
Was completely in
question
for a long time.
Yeah, there's a bit of controversy going on around there. So yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know that this movie's ever really gonna happen.
But you gotta want it now. Now you want to see it because
at one point it was going to be involved in Flashpoint. Now Flashpoint, obviously for those comic book fans, is like Barry travels back in time to try and it comes to fix something that happened to his past and comes back and finds the future has gone horribly wrong. That doesn't really have any impact in the DCEU because what is the DCEU right now? Like, what is in, what is out, what counts anymore? So, I mean, I don't understand what they're doing with this. I mean, we've seen Flashpoint play out in the Flash television series, and they did a pretty good job of it and shown the consequences of it, which you can do in 22 episodes, which you can't do in 2 hours. But I don't know. They're calling it like a Flash version of Back to the Future. Okay.
Nice.
I honestly, God, I don't know. I don't know what this movie is going to be, but
well, here's what you hope is.
Bless their hearts.
You hope that they are trying to put back some of the pieces that was what was to be and got shattered, right? Like, this announcement on the heels of the Snyder Cut and just the aftermath of all that makes a lot of sense because it's almost like somebody has said, wow, what we had wasn't that bad. Let's try and see if we can piece this together. That's just wishful thinking on my part.
I mean, maybe they are going to tie it into the Snyder Cut, which is now, I mean, it's because it's not a film anymore. It's a multi-part thing on HBO Max, right? It's several parts. So
yes, what we've heard is it's going to be released episodically.
So
they figure
gives them a little bit more breathing room.
So
maybe there is more room to put this Flashpoint connection in there, because I recall that was one of those odd moments in that film where it seemed like they were trying to put these tangential points that we're going to come back to or reference later on, because there was, when Bruce's weird dream, or was it a dream? All of those things that it seems like this was going to be the core of the universe, and everything would come back to that. So maybe now that we get the full Snyder Cut, we'll have these intersections that can happen.
I think we're all just waiting on the Suicide Squad to straighten this all out.
Yeah.
Because adding 40 more characters to the mix will make things so much easier to understand. No, I'm legitimately excited
James
for that.
Gunn,
but it's like they showed the trailer for the conversation they're gonna have at Venom. Was like, you have two Zoom screens full of stars. Like, what? How are you going to manage those? Like, it's like, all right, what if there were like 3 teams worth of Guardians of the Galaxy? Huh?
Right.
Okay. Like. Either way, BMI is getting paid on that.
Yes. So we've got
we have
the whole DC universe and whether that's coming together or not. But to me, it's very interesting because it connects to an article that Rob voted up here, which is Star Trek, because there are rumors that the Star Trek universe is potentially on the rocks over at Paramount. Now, there are just rumors that a lot of things are being scrapped now and all this, but we do have some news, right, about some Star Trek that's coming?
So we've got Star Trek Discovery. The season 3 will premiere October 15th, which is amazing. Woo! I'm amazed that that sounds like they had a lot of this in the can before the COVID hit.
Yeah.
So they were able to
I think was done.
Yeah. So they've been all in post-production since then, which is great because you can do that remotely, obviously. And I think that's exciting just because, everything here in where this show goes, now in season 3, you're going to places you've never seen before. So a future that just completely disconnected from everything. So I'm excited to see that. At the same time, CBS sounds like, I don't know what they're doing. If you've watched Lower Decks, Lower Decks is, I don't understand how that exists. I like it, but I'm just amazed it exists. If somebody told me 10 years ago, anybody said, there's going to be an animated Star Trek show that's basically Star Trek on Family Guy, who would have believed that was possible? It's happened.
Yeah.
And then, Kyle, I think you and I've talked in other times about the CBS All Access thing is going to change. Like the naming is going to change. They're going to go all in. What is it? Paramount? Like
Paramount Plus.
Oh God, seriously,
because it's an original idea.
Oh, plus?
I don't know.
It's all got to be plus
because it's bonus.
Well, you don't want to do minus. I mean, come on.
Well,
you
that's
have
true.
to choose a mathematical symbol.
That just I'm
Not
blown
greater
away.
than.
I mean, I think
Paramount greater than. Right?
Actually, I would go for Paramount greater than, because when they do a list, then it would be Paramount greater than Disney Plus. Like, I see what you did there.
Brackets. So, like, seriously, what? I don't know. I think that it's going to be an interesting fall, especially for the show, to see what they get. What's the story? Does it connect? Because obviously you wonder, are they trying to create something that all these shows connect so that you will get people to bleed off? But yes, CBS sounds like it's a mess.
Well, I think the Star Trek television side of it is killing it right now. I mean, like, they really have a definite thing going. They have multiple series coming out, and we've heard Strange New Worlds is coming. I mean, like, all these different things. It's the Star Trek films that are like, what is going on over there? Because that's
which one is getting made?
Bloodbath, right? Exactly. I mean, we finally got some news on what Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie was supposed to be, and now that's not happening at all.
Yeah,
I think it's the fact that the Star Trek stories that resonate well with fans are those large scale stories. It's the 2 or 3 episode arcs on a TV series, and now that with All Access, you can stretch episodes a little bit longer. You can tell these long stories. You can have a season of Picard that's what 12 episodes or whatever. That's just one really long continuous story to bring in all these characters. When I first heard about Lower Decks, I wasn't surprised. Because I had read, I don't know if you've read John Scalzi's novel Red Shirts. Which is I heard that, I thought, novel. Well, why don't they just make Red Shirts? Because you've got some good content right there. Let's start with that, But I haven't seen Lower Decks, but I was thrilled that they were knowing that novel had been so popular around the Star Trek, fan base, that somebody said, "Hey, this is an idea. We can do something different with Star Trek. We don't need to always tell these serious stories about politics and the Klingons and all that. We can go and have something fun."
We just have people getting stabbed in the legs by batlets. Why not?
Exactly.
Well, there's nothing serious about Lower Decks, let me tell you.
No, there's nothing serious. It is. I will give them credit for them being reverent to the lore, in terms of, like, they are not just like taking shots at Star Trek. Like, everyone's, as you look around the thing, you're like, oh, that's a there's no Ryan. They're good that way. So they're not just like having random amoebas. It's not Futurama.
Yes. Well, no.
No.
And however, for those of you who do want to check it out and don't want to be a CBS All Access member, you can watch the first episode on YouTube for free, legally.
Yes.
Like, they posted it to promote interest, so it's out there.
The other thing to note just on the Lower Decks is that it takes place basically shortly after Nemesis in the timeline.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of next generation name dropping.
There's a big gap, that they've never been explored, and this is like I would never expected a Rick and Morty take on Star Trek to be dropped right in there, but hey, it's an unexplored era.
Here we are.
2020. All rules are off.
Okay. Keeping things silly.
That seems to be the theme of the night.
That will be the
Rob,
theme for today.
what? Because I saw the headline, I was like, I glanced at this article. You said, no, I'm going to vote this thing up. I want to talk about Blazing Saddles being remade as animated samurai movie with cats and dogs. So, is it really Blazing Saddles?
Walk us through
I
this.
saw that and I thought, well, is it really Blazing Saddles they're adapting the story, or is it just the concept of, like, the outsider that's in town? Tell us more about this.
No, it sounds like it is going to be based, because Mel Brooks is involved.
Wow, okay.
They've got him on the short cast list and Michael Cera, Samuel L. Jackson, Ricky Gervais, George Takei, Michelle Yeoh. So I mean, and Mel Brooks, so that's legit. He's completely involved. But I mean, the statement you said is exactly what it is: being remade as an animated samurai movie about cats and dogs. Look, is there a place to somehow translate the humor, the satirical temperature of Blazing Saddles to the current generation? Yeah, there is. That's a tightrope I would not want to walk. So
and having them be animals,
yeah, well,
also in the super popular mainstream samurai genre. I mean, like, hey, I love Kurosawa as much as I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, but at the same time, samurai, animals, and Blazing Saddles.
Imagine it'll be a Kung Fu Panda-y look.
Have you seen the Kung Fu Panda animated series?
I mean, I was talking about the movie. I don't know.
that was the pitch. It's a Kung Fu Panda-y kind of Blazing Saddles-y thing for kids. Yeah.
The execs just go,
let's see. Blazing Saddles.
How much?
Makes a lot of money. Kung Fu Panda makes. Yeah, you're golden. Let's roll with this thing.
I gotta say though, that is a great voice cast.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that's actually is a nod in their favor.
No, again, I guess where do you come from this? Are you doing this because wow, you legitimately want to take something like Blazing Saddles, which was an incredible social commentary at the time? Mm-hmm. How do you then bring it into now, which obviously it has a place in the conversation, or is it just, hey, it's a busy market? How do we get noticed? Let's do this.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, Mel Brooks, I don't know. Let me tell you something. I mean, as we're going to talk about later in this morning's episode, a truck full of cash, they do things. I don't know. What
they do. Things happen. They do happen. That's a whole
truck full of cash. The Michael Bay story.
I want to touch on one last thing, which is apparently were people clamoring for this? I do relate to the fact of the tedium that is Netflix and scrolling. Okay, I added this to my list. No. If only there was a shuffle button that would randomly pick something out of Netflix for me to watch, it would solve all of my problems, apparently. It's in beta testing out there somewhere. There's this button that I'm curious about the logistics of what it pulls from, because according to the article, it could pull from things that you've partially watched, things that are on your list, or things that you watched in the past and liked. So clearly it knows you like it, but there's something different between I'm going to click, shuffle on, a music app and get something out of a playlist versus, it could throw Scorsese's The Irishman at me, or an episode of BoJack Horseman, or, what is it going to throw at me? I don't know.
Right. We noticed that you pinned Breaking Bad 3 years ago. Here's the final episode.
Exactly. Oh, I was in the mood for that. You? Sure. Yeah. But is that something that you have found that you wish there was something that would dictate your Netflix, just say you could maybe have a favorited list of just say, if I don't know what I'm in the mood for, it would just pull something random to throw at me because I'm not in the mood to make a decision?
It's not how I use Netflix. I'll just say that.
Rob's thinking, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Like, have you ever walked into a library and had the librarian just hand you a book and then shove you out the door?
There we go.
Because that's what we've all been looking for.
And there we go.
I don't trust their algorithm to pick stuff that I would like, much less to shuffle through their thousands and thousands of hours of stuff. And suddenly I'm watching a Ukrainian cooking show.
Come on, Kyle. This? You need more Bollywood in your life.
You get deep down into Netflix, there's some weird stuff in there.
Well, you know what? Okay, I have a question to ask on the spot. How is Netflix rotation in your streaming viewing? Has it changed? Because, okay, spoiler, Netflix right now is the least watched of our services in our household.
If you take from like COVID, so let's talk about just quarantine.
Exactly.
I've watched on Netflix, I've watched The Umbrella Academy season 2. That's it. That's my whole list.
Well, Tiger King. You watched Tiger King, though.
No, I didn't.
You didn't watch Tiger King?
I don't watch reality anything.
I
find reality to be very disappointing.
It's a really good point, because what I watch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait.
Okay.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Right.
But
there you go.
There's the Venn diagram of my wife wanting to watch people being murdered and tortured in real life. And me with the nostalgia factor, that was those very small Venn diagram of things we watched together.
So, but Kyle, what you named were not movies. You were naming, basically TV shows on Netflix, and that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I can't.
People don't go to Netflix for movies anymore, so it should.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the last movie I watched on Netflix was.
I mean, there's some that I will.
I keep adding to my list,
but it's a lot of the
them.
Netflix originals. I mean, I did just watch.
Oh wait, I did watch something. What was it?
Project Power.
The Charlize Theron.
Oh,
I did watch Project Power. That's okay. I take it back.
Yes.
Netflix. It's so insidious. You forget you're watching it because it's just one click away on your remote. I did watch Project Power and I did watch Old Guard.
Okay. Yes. So there's some there, but again, Rob, I agree. I've got my Criterion channel. I've got my Disney Plus. I've got my Hulu, and I'm finding that
I've got Plex.
There you go. Yeah. Stuff
with all my favorite stuff on it because I put it there.
And then, we'll get Paramount bracket greater than, squiggly line.
Solve for X.
All right. So, but I don't know if that's Netflix's play to try to engage people like, hey, it's going to be the chat roulette of video services for you. Just pick something random and we'll throw it at you. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
good luck.
Right.
Good luck, programmers.
Yeah.
At least
what
you're keeping
I'm
your jobs.
more, interested in is I've seen the services like Movies Anywhere have sort of taken off of that, like the whole Netflix party thing that they had. Because now Movies Anywhere, they've got the Screen Pass that we've talked about before, where you can loan a movie, but now they've got Watch Together on there, which is not for me because I don't know that I'm going to be like, hey, Kyle, Rob, I'm thinking of watching The Invisible Man right now. You guys want to sit down and watch it with me? And you'd be like,
hell yeah. No one's ever made that offer.
But usually it's going to be
that's so nice. All right, so thanks everybody. See you next
10
time.
o'clock on a Friday night. Well, who else is sitting around not doing anything? Let's see if these guys want to watch an old Universal horror movie with me. Okay. Yeah. But
it does seem to be a very Gen Y thing.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
There's still something for...
Not us old dudes who are still like, Blu-ray!
We got some trailers to talk about. We're actually getting into, there's stuff to pick from. And I
know,
real movies.
Real movies. Not just like Russell Crowe road rage movies. I mean,
hey, I don't disappoint. Hey, listen, don't you?
I think
we'll get there.
Just you hold that. Yes.
Rob's got his 15 cents in his hand, ready to go and say one for Unhinged.
And I just go back in the car and drive away. That's it.
So I'm playing my A24 card on trailers, so I get to go first because we haven't had a trailer from A24. I think the last one that they had, as I recall, was one of my picks back in February for The Green Knight, I believe was the last A24 trailer I recall seeing out there. But bringing something new this week, Sofia Coppola doing a thing with Bill Murray again and Rashida Jones called On the Rocks, a little thing about a father-daughter type of relationship. And I am somewhat of a fan of Sofia Coppola. I know a lot of her films can bore people. I don't know, there's something about the character aspect of this. And being a father, and hopefully not a father like Bill Murray is in this film, just the dynamic, that parent-daughter dynamic is appealing to me. For this one coming out in October from A24 on the Rocks. What did you guys think of this piece? Are you Sofia Coppola fans?
That'd be a no.
Okay.
I've seen a couple of her things, enough to know that she is not my cup of tea. I just want to know, will this movie end with Bill Murray whispering something into Rashida Jones's ear that we'll never get to hear? But I'd say this actually looked much better than like the last stuff that coming to. I was so like, oh, okay, this has a lighter tone.
Right.
This has it's not going to be a romantic comedy, which is sort of like the music makes you think it would be. But I have a feeling it's going to be a lot less, I don't know, obtuse than her previous work.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, kiddo. Oh my gosh, do you look beautiful. Cliff, how's your mom's hip?
Good, thanks.
Good. He thinks you're my girlfriend.
Brace.
Been busy?
Yeah. Dean's traveling with clients all the time, and I'm just the buzzkill waiting to schedule things. I'm so stuck.
So Dean's going away a lot, huh? On business trips?
Dad.
Raise your hand if that sounds fishy.
He's not like you. He's a good guy, a great dad.
Sure, it's nature Males are forced to fight, to dominate, and to impregnate all females.
Yes, it is listed as an adventure comedy drama by IMDb. An adventure? Adventure is a loose term there.
That bastion of cinematic integrity, IMDb.
No. But it does, I mean, the plot summary is a young mother who reconnects with her larger-than-life Playboy father on an adventure through New York. So I guess because they're moving from one location to another within New York, that makes it the adventure?
No, but you know what? I actually thought it had a nice tone to it. And Marlon Wayans, we should mention, is a main cast member. The husband, I assume, of Rashida Jones's character. You know, it looked playful. Bill Murray just owns his look now, his grizzled, older man vibe. And the thing I actually really loved about this was the ending of the trailer. Watch the trailer just so you can watch the last 10 seconds. Very cute and very odd. And I almost think that wasn't even that was an off the cuff Murray thing. Like that wasn't. There's a little scene with her at a dinner table, and you'll see it. I thought it was very playful. It let me be very happy at the end of that. Question I did see. Did I see I know it was the A24. Did I see an Apple TV Plus promo too?
Yeah.
So this is going to go directly to Apple TV Plus
in October. Yes.
Wow.
Do we know if that's just something that they purchased or something that they commissioned?
I would say at this point it's probably something A24 had sitting, and they're trying to figure out. Yeah. We want to get this out there. It's not something we want to hold on to. And Apple Plus maybe just stepped in and said, hey, we need content because we don't have a lot of stuff right now. And we
got Tom Hanks and submarines.
We got some deep pockets. Yeah. Let's get this thing out there.
Although I will say in Apple TV Plus's defense, because both Rob and I are subscribers to Apple TV Plus.
Yes.
Ted Lasso is actually very, very funny.
Oh, I've heard that.
Okay. It's actually, I didn't realize, I was sort of like, I like Jason Sudeikis. I'll sit down and watch this. And I was watching, I'm like, wow, this is really funny. And I was, why? Oh, it's Bill Lawrence. It's the creator of Scrubs and Cougar Town. So like the two of them together, it's actually way funnier than most of like the sort of prestige humor things that we've seen lately. Like we're used to seeing like just people run around with a camera.
Yes. Right.
And just like, try and catch shots where they can. But this is like, you can tell they actually spent a little bit of money on it.
Did you see they'd already got the season 2 green light?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
so
because
the first 4 episodes are up, and I think that it comes out. And then, next year. So
they're moving out of being Apple Null Set into Apple Plus. Okay.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
Everything starts hard. Every beginning is tough.
It is. Because, we could always, we haven't mentioned Quibi, and I think there soon will be a day where we will have no reason to talk to.
That mention is coming. That mention is coming later on. Okay. I'm saving it.
All right. So, let's see. Rob, your trailer was next in there. Why don't you tell us about this little film that you want to share with us?
Okay, so here's the way I thought I would do this. It's The War with Grandpa. If you haven't seen this, it was all over the place at the beginning of the week, and as soon as I saw it, I texted Kyle. I said, "This is my movie." Okay, here's all you need to know: The War with Grandpa, starring Robert De Niro. I am going to tell you all the thoughts I had as I watched this trailer.
Ooh. Okay,
so this is how it began.
The stream of consciousness. Okay.
Opening scene. Wait, is this a sequel to Dirty Grandpa? Did Zac Efron's character have a kid? Uma Thurman married to Rob Riggle? Isn't that the girl from Austin and Ally? Christopher Walken? Oh, they did a spot where the kid hits his head on a board gag. No. Foam sealant for his beard. Jane Seymour. Cheech. Cut 2, what's the slogan of the movie? It's the wise versus the pint size.
Yes.
And how do we end this? How do we end this trailer? Not just an ode to John Belushi from Animal House falling down on a ladder. We end with a kid exclaiming, Santa's dead, and an ode to the Godfather. What in the world? What happened here?
Can I help you, sir? You can help me find Maria. Oh, Maria's gone. We're completely self-checkout now.
Please scan your item. Please scan your item.
I just did.
Please scan your item.
Yeah, right.
Sir! This can't keep happening.
You're not putting me in a home.
What if it were our home?
Grandpa!
Jenny!
Hi, Grandpa.
Hello, sweetheart.
How's your daughter's place, Ed?
She gave me my grandson's room. He's not too happy about it.
How do you like your room?
Kid looking. I didn't want it to be this way either.
I just want my room back. Get away from me!
Oh, come on.
I want to put up with this, Pete. I demand my room back, or else it's war.
Declaration of war. Give me back what is mine or face the consequences. Okay. You got your wish. What the? That's going for me.
You know, when they said they were doing a Deer Hunter reunion, this is not what I expected. I know. I like the fact that these guys. Okay, you're right. I mean, it looks like it could be a good bad movie. Like, there's no way it's going to be a good movie, but it's going to be a good bad movie. But like, I love the fact that there's actors of a certain age are now just like, you know, I just want to have some fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when what are you saying? When Uma Thurman was in there, and then Jane Seymour, I was like, oh yeah,
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, until he's doing it,
Yes.
she's like, I'm in.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's like, oh my god,
so am I. I'm in too. You know what? And I didn't know anything about this. I mean, seriously, because I was like, wait, he's doing another Grandpa movie? Because again, Dirty Grandpa. I did not realize. So this is based on a very popular children's book by Robert Kimmel Smith, who just passed away actually back in April of this year. So okay, I mean, there's an audience for this because it's a book. I mean, I guess it's like the diary of the whatever the wimpy
was it
kid.
an Oprah book club selection?
Maybe, I don't know. It's just totally in the line of like Roadhogs or like what was all those movies? The one where Morgan Freeman goes to Vegas.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, like
Last Vegas?
Las Vegas. And so, could it be cute? I don't know, but just watch the
bucket
trailer.
list, yeah, though.
Well, watch the trailer because you're just gonna go like, what?
There's, I gotta say, for a movie that's like in a Home Alone-esque series of gags, there's some pretty good gags in there.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, does anyone in the demographic of this film, has any of them seen The Godfather?
Right.
Probably not.
No, they're playing music.
I mean, at that point, I literally just expected Joe Pesci to just pop up on the side of the bed and be like, gotcha. What is going on? Truck of cash. Truck of cash.
That was my reaction. The Godfather music comes in, and I thought, no, this kid did not put a horse's head in the bed. Please tell me this movie didn't go from PG to like PG-13R or something.
No, I was like, this is gonna be a toy horse. What are we going with?
But I thought, and that was my first thought: is kids aren't going to get this. Parents of kids this age that are watching this probably haven't seen The Godfather, so I don't know who this is for at all.
Who is this for?
Oh.
It's for Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken fans who. Anyway,
Okay.
my apologies.
Well, when is that?
I
When do we get
couldn't
to enjoy, Dirty War on Grandpa?
Oh, was that in October? I did Dirty War on Grandpa. That's amazing. Oh my
Is it just a general like
That's
October
totally-
when we hope theaters are open? Okay, because
Yes, October.
apparently
Yeah.
Russell Crowe couldn't get it done in July. He was supposed to open theaters in July with whatever that nonsense was, but we'll count on De Niro.
It's yeah,
October
it's October
9th.
9th.
Wow,
So
okay.
there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll see.
and following up with the film of all films.
Yeah, I know. It's like this is actually like a real grown-up adult movie. This
Let's
is
raise
I
the
think
bar.
the first trailer I've done here on SatMat that's like
legitimate
for
film?
an adult movie for adults. But which is ironic for why I picked it. So rewind a couple years ago to Murder on the Orient Express. We had a situation where we had to take my daughter with us, and just through a series of circumstances, she couldn't go to where she was supposed to go. And so we had already made plans and bought tickets, and we ended up having to take her at 10 years old to see Murder on the Orient Express, the later one, and went, oh man, this could go really badly. And we went in, and she loved it. She's like, she came out of that movie saying like, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And like, she is a hard sell. So when this came on, like the first person I showed it to was her, and I let the movie, because the trailer plays out in this nice way, and at the end it reveals Poirot, and she went like, she got so excited, like oh, he's back, like the stash is back. So I mean, it's once again, it's another star-studded cast. Another Agatha Christie adaptation. Apparently, they look like they shot the hell out of it because it looks gorgeous, filled with all sorts of amazing people. Letitia Wright. I mean, just these, and the Russell Brand. I mean, all these things. You're going, whoa, you're in this too. I mean, yeah, it's so this technically the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile. Which supposedly will hit October 23rd of this year. So after you see Dirty War on Bad Grandpa, you can make it a double
you
feature.
Bad Grandpa in there. Get a little Johnny Knoxville. Just throw him in there. Put him under the bus. Go ahead. Sure.
We'll just keep it. It'll be a game. We'll just keep adding a word on.
Oh, so it'll be
talk about
Dirty War on Bad Grandpa plus.
Oh my God.
This is why we like you, Steve.
The romance of the desert has the power to seduce. I ask you, have you ever loved so much? Been so possessed by jealousy that you might kill.
No, okay, and you know what else? The thing that blew me away about the Death on the Nile, the boat.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What a gorgeous, that looks like. What I got the vibes of that. I mean, first of all, it's just it in the line of Murder on the Orient Express. But I got vibes of the house in Knives Out. Yeah. Like you could just tell this is just going to be this gorgeous set piece that everything they're on a boat.
And just from that trailer, I forgive Kenneth Branagh for Artemis Fowl. So
yeah.
But come October.
I feel like I just said Macbeth in a theater. What happened?
Everybody has their stumbles, and just because we could talk about I don't know. Didn't he do the what was it? The Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit? Did he direct that one? Did he direct that one or not? I can't remember. I just remember he was
he did and starred in it as well.
Yes. So one of those issues. But I have a feeling that might be a film board selection for October since they did the first one. So typically we try to revisit something in the franchise, see if it overcame the issues that they had with the Murder on the Orient Express, because I know not everyone was a huge fan of that. See if Branagh's able to redeem himself with Death on the Nile coming this October.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Kyle, you brought something fun. You said.
Whew.
I said it's a game time.
So
Kyle, let's go. Bring it.
Yeah. So all right. So let's have some fun. So, I actually ended up watching Quibi this week.
There it is.
Well, I subscribed to Quibi
for free. They took your hard-earned cash
for free.
Okay.
I'm not going to give them any money. I'm going to basically everything I want. I can stream pretty much in an afternoon. And so I ended up watching, and I have to say, in Quibi's defense, I saw one of the funniest things I have ever seen. This movie that they put on there that apparently cost them $100 and a copy of Final Cut. It was funnier than I've seen the $10 million comedies in theaters, and it was Home Movie, The Princess Bride. So they shot. If you don't know the story, for those of you who know, while they're doing quarantine, they had this idea. Jason Reitman was sort of the architect behind this, and he said, "What if we took Princess Bride exactly as it is, shot for shot, line for line, and gave 5-minute segments to celebrities who are stuck at home and had them shoot it themselves, and I will just edit it together." And so he went out to all of these celebrities, and I'm not even going to name drop all these things, because part of the joy of this is when you see someone show up and you go, "Oh my God, I can't believe that person is in this as well." And for those of you who have been following the news lately, it ends in a very, very, very poignant way. So it is very worth your time of about 2 hours and the price of free. And also, for those of you who are Apple people, you can now AirPlay, so you can put it on your phone and you can send it right to your Apple TV or whatever you want. But I gotta say, some of the stuff they do there, because they were shot I think they were shot. Everything was shot separately, and the people didn't even know who they were in the scenes with.
Oh,
so you'll have there's a great scene. You can watch this on YouTube. They put up one scene, and it's the Cliffs of Insanity, and so it's I think it's now I'm trying to remember. I think it's Diego Luna is Inigo Montoya, and Jack Black is the Man in Black, and so they're doing a scene, and so Diego is holding like the sword. He's telling you about the sword that my father made, and it's an umbrella. That's what he had. And so he hands it off camera, and then Jack Black receives it, and it's Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Oh, I see. This is beautiful. They do that stuff all the time. Like there's a scene with Patton Oswalt as Vizzini, and the Man in Black is now John Hamm. And they have their duel of wits, and they hand the glass across. It is clearly a different glass with a different liquid in it every single time. And sometimes it's a woman's hand reaching out because it's whoever he had to shoot stuff with him. It is hilarious. So as I was watching it, and my wife too, and both of us are just howling with laughter because not only is it a great story, and it's like obviously reshot because they're using the exact same camera angles, no special effects. I mean, like when the rodents of unusual size show up, they're people's dogs. The cool thing about it is, as I was watching it, I was like, there's a way you could remake Princess Bride today and have it not be, how dare you do that? And here's how you do it. Because it's someone reading from a book. Let's say in a couple of years, Fred Savage goes over to someone's house with the book and sits down, and now he's reading it to someone else. And so you're seeing the version he's telling as opposed to the version that his grandfather told him. So it's a way of not being like, I'm going to do this better than Mandy Patinkin did. I'm going to do this better than Andre did. But it's a different interpretation of the same story. And you could even use the same script because that script is tight. I watched the original movie. The only thing that has not aged well in that movie is the score, unfortunately, because the tinkling of the keyboards is really obvious in that movie. I wish it had a big, full, sumptuous score. So my challenge to us today is, with that respectful thing of having everyone that signed off, like Carrie Elwes says, great, go for it. Fred Savage says, I'm in. Rob Reiner says, I'll produce it. Who would be the cast of Princess Bride today?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So obviously Fred Savage is the narrator, so we have him already.
He's our Peter Falk. Okay, yes.
So for the kid, I guess we could try and do a celebrity kid. I would switch the thing. I would probably have it be a girl.
You got to update that because
that's reading to his niece.
Yes.
That also a way that you could have it be that he's changing the story a little bit too, to have it be more, yes, interesting to her.
I could do that. I'm trying to. I don't know my celebrity young actresses. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do we need to have a celebrity young actor in that play? I don't know. Just who's on the Disney Channel right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That would be, yes.
So we'll move on from there. Okay. So then we'll start with Buttercup.
Yeah.
So you need to have obviously a Robin Wright type. You need to have, she needs to be not only beautiful, but also really forceful. And she can't, because she doesn't have a lot of action. She has to really be commanding in the scenes.
Yes.
And I guess I'd say my first thought was Keira Knightley. But I'm thinking of Keira Knightley from Pirates.
And that's 20 years ago. Yes.
She's in her late 30s now, so maybe she wouldn't be, because Buttercup's supposed to be 25-ish.
Yes.
I would say. I mean, she's running the household by herself. So
well, do you go with, because you brought up Knives Out? Do you go with an Anna Doris on something like that, and you go go away from your blonde?
I can see that.
Yes. With a different look on that, but young, commanding. Have some comic chops as well.
I like it. You got anything better, Rob?
No. I'm thinking. Well, I already have another one, but
what about Daisy Ridley?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Farm boy. I mean, you can hear her.
Oh, totally. Oh, that would turn. She totally would work.
I was thinking her. I mean, obviously Star Wars, but I was also thinking of her because we were talking about Murder of the Orient Express, and she was really good in that. Okay, so then, so which are we picking? Are we, because we have to pick her male lead, so we have to do a chemistry test here.
We can go with Daisy Ridley. Yes, we'll go with
So Daisy Ridley. Okay, so Daisy Ridley. So then, who do you pair with Daisy Ridley? Now, obviously, this is a fable, a fantasy. So I don't think you have to pick someone who can do like Carrie Elwes again.
Right. You're not going to go with you're not going to do the Oscar Isaac. Would be funny. I mean, that really would. I'm saying that kind of jokingly, but
yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's save him because he'd be a great Inigo Montoya.
Yes.
Yes. Done.
Yes, he would.
Right?
Yes.
Well, okay, and I'm not holding this, but like Vizzini, I was thinking Patton Oswalt.
Oh yeah,
yes, Patton Oswalt actually does it in the thing. He does a fantastic
he really?
job.
Oh,
he does a great job. And I'll tell you, the other person who like the thing that's also great about this whole movie thing is that some people are just like clearly just having fun, just screwing around.
Sure.
But some people are like, this is the chance of a lifetime, and they like go full on into like full character. And one of the people that does it is Rainn Wilson does the first scene of Vizzini where he's yelling at them on the boat. He is amazing because he's like, this is my Oscar moment. Like he is like so committed to it. And it was like, oh my God, I would never have thought it, but he is so great just yelling at nothing because obviously there's probably no one there. Well, I found you in Greenland. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, okay. So let's go back to Wesley then.
Good Wesley again.
So obviously he needs to be, dreamy. Because he has to, with just the look, he has to be like, and has to have, he's going to be covered the mask most of it, so he has to have those, dazzling eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not into dreamy, dazzling eyes right now.
He's not. See, he doesn't have anything to pull right out of the air on that one. Neither do I.
Okay. Let's see. Like we'll see if the cast forms around. Maybe that person naturally will appear as we go through. Well, I had an idea that just slipped away. So,
and for Andre, I would that's easy because you're.
Yes,
it's a big show.
Well, it's the big show.
No, because one, you want to stay within the wrestling world. I think that's appropriate. And it's a big show. I mean, of course.
And
Paul
he's
White.
Huge. And, he would easily do the accent or whatever they wanted him to do.
Exactly.
When he first came into wrestling, they pretended he's Andre the Giant's son. So.
Exactly. And he's got Netflix money now. He's got acting chops. He can do that.
Yeah. So Oscar Isaac, that's good. I'm happy with Patton Oswalt as Vizzini, unless you guys have a better. Okay. All right. So then Humperdinck. Humperdinck.
Oh, arrogant and just so full of himself.
Yeah.
And
a little bit older. So I'd say probably in his 40s or so.
Oh.
Right. But why? Why would she? I mean, we don't even have another person, but maybe Ryan Gosling actually could be Wesley.
Oh, I think he's a little old for that. Well,
because he's supposed to be dreamy.
I'm just thinking because he's just so flat in performance sometimes that I just feel like that's what I get out of Chris Sarandon as Humperdinck sometimes is that it's just there's not a lot of depth in there. That's all.
Okay, so then let's work on the duo then because it's him and the Six-Fingered Man.
Yes.
So this is once again people will go who listened to when I appeared on the last set mat where we recast Tears of. There's a couple people that I think are just the best people in the world, and I want to cast them in everything. So I would put a Six-Fingered Man. I would put Paul F. Tompkins.
Yes.
So if you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything. So then comparison with who would be the Humperdinck to match up with him. I don't know. So you want? I mean, let's see. No, it's like Malkovich seems too old.
You can stunt cast Malkovich as the
Nick Cage. Nick Cage. My father's final words were, "Love her." That's almost Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
no, but he has to be bad. I mean, he has to be because we love Keanu right now. So like, he couldn't do the heel turn, Rob. He couldn't do the heel turn.
Right.
Cranston.
Oh. Yes.
Cranston can do the heel turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I say, this is. I know we're going long, so let's just do a couple of quick hits and then we'll get out of here. All right, Miracle Max.
Miracle Max and his wife. Got to cast that duo's got to have some.
My pick would be Ben Schwartz, Jean-Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Because you got that. Yeah.
And then who'd be his wife? There's an obvious pick.
Go for it.
Oh, go do it.
Oh, like I say, I feel like this is all me. Like I'm pulling a
no, this was good. No, this is
actually
good.
I had because I really had not considered this beforehand. I'm trying to do off the top of my head. Sarah Silverman.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I'm not a witch. I'm your wife.
Exactly.
Okay, then all right. So then I'll leave it because I feel like I'm dominating this. We'll do one more and then we'll move on because obviously I'm stealing.
It's not my show. It's our show.
Who would play the priest?
That's an interesting. You could go a lot of interesting directions with that because
somebody that you can have somebody you can any age you can have
because you could go with sort of the tradition of like let's cast an older classic British comic actor and throw like a Rowan Atkinson in there or something like that.
Sure, he's done it in 4 weddings, so why not?
You wouldn't just bring Gervais in and just say here. Just go nuts. Which I mean, Ricky Gervais playing a priest.
Yeah. Already that's funny.
Yeah. Right?
Marriage. What are we talking about, people? Marriage, right?
Oh my God. That's it. There you go.
Okay. Right, I think that's a wrap.
No, that's awesome. That ended high.
I like that. But I'm gonna have to check this Quibi thing out because as you described it, and then you mentioned Jack Black. I'm like, oh, it's just like the whatever Rewind movie. Behind Rewind, where
Behind Rewind.
Sweeted.
Yep. It is like they took the movie and they sweeted it.
I love a good sweeted.
I'm telling you, like, you are not going to believe the people who they got to do this and to be so ridiculous and commit so hard to their parts of it. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. And like I said, well worth the price.
Yes.
Of
all
nothing.
Right. Use your free Quibi, and is it broken up into like 10-minute segments, or is it?
It's broken up into they do in chapters. I think each chapter is about 5 to 7 minutes or so. But it's for those purists, there are a couple of slim edits they take out. Like they have the albino shows up once and then never again. I mean, it's very slight. So they're not trying to do it they're not trying to do the Gus Van Sant Psycho
shot.
Now, so if you airplay it to your television, do you have to turn your television on its side, or like? How does that work?
No, they actually thought of it. When you actually, what's cool about it is if you do turn it sideways, because for those of you who don't know, Quibi is shot vertical. If you turn it sideways, they put up an info tab on the right that tells you who the people are. Because as I'm in my 40s now, some of the young people, I did not know who they were. So it was nice that they put their names up. And I'm like, oh, you must be a singer or something because I don't know who you are.
You're making Quibi sound cool, dude.
I'm John. I am a mark for home movies, Princess Bride. So far, I've not found anything else that I have interesting on the app. But for that, it is well worth the price. And I hope that they put that out somewhere else when Quibi inevitably.
Well, it's a concept that's been out there because they did that with Star Wars. They broke up the Star Wars into like, what was it, 30 or 45?
Yeah. But this was actually like sanctioned.
But the nice thing is, you've got people with the skills to deliver some of those classic moments and do it well.
Right. And it takes a world class, like talent like Jason Reitman to actually put it all together because he was cutting everything. Oh, and Rob, and this will be the final thing that'll get you to describe to it tonight. All the action scenes are done with Legos.
What?
Yes. Every time there's like a crowd scene, they have like lines of Lego characters there, and they're just like.
I'm sold. New Quibi subscriber right here.
14 days.
For 14 days.
Right. That's what he's doing all weekend. Jeez. All right. So he's going to be in the Quibi zone.
Oh, if only we could do a Quibi watch party.
Well,
Come on, sucker.
That'll happen when we get Quibi Plus.
Oh,
it's a Katzenberg Cat. We're like Quibi minus what?
Jeez.
It's Katzenberg, right? I'm trying to remember who's the mogul that this was their brilliant idea. Isn't it Jeffrey Katzenberg?
True. Although I don't hold much memory about Quibi, so Andy might be the one to tell you about
the man who we just learned wanted to cut part of your world from Little Mermaid because it was boring.
All right, so getting into our list here. So this week on the show,
Yeah.
This week on the show, they were Pete and Andy were talking about Z or Zed, depending on which part of the globe you reside in, a film that I have not seen, but they gave us some great options, and the fans out there voted, and apparently were really drawn to. And as I listened to Pete and Andy's description of this, it was apparently there were people wandering the streets just bonking people on the heads with clubs, and so they described that as unconventional weapons of mayhem. So unconventional weapons of mayhem was our list topic, and I thought, okay, if it was just weapons of mayhem, I was gonna maybe have some trouble coming up with a list. And then it was unconventional weapons of mayhem, and I thought I will struggle to get 3. I will see how unconventional my weapons are, or how much mayhem is related to these events.
Okay. See, I had different interpretations.
So I went with mayhem of like mass chaos. And we'll see.
This is going to be mayhem,
yes,
a mayhem segment.
Okay, so as going first on my trailer pick, I'm going to play that trump card and go first here. And this is probably the weakest of mine.
Your A24 card.
And this is a film I had not seen in a long time. And I was trying to think of, like, when I think of mayhem, I think of just confusion. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's confusion, chaos. People are losing track of things, And the one scene that came to mind is from 98 or 99, Thomas Crown Affair, when there's the final heist where he's got the bowler hat on, and they're trying to track him as he's going to replace the painting, they think, and all of a sudden there's like dozens of guys with hats, and they just, the police lose it because they can't keep track of who, and then the fire alarm goes off and all of that. And so that was my bowler hat as the unconventional weapon of mayhem.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great pick.
What a great poll.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie does not get mentioned
nearly
enough.
20 years.
I think that is Pierce Brosnan's finest film.
Yeah, you could. You could
like
make that argument,
and,
sure.
And Renee Russo was never hotter than she was in this.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
Still amazing, but like, man.
All right, so then that is Kyle. What is your... Yeah.
Oh, for me, so I, in honor of my Marvel Movie Minute collaborator, Rob, I have a theme.
Oh, yes! Excellent!
Yeah. So, I took it a different way. I took in the unconventional weapons thing of like, okay, what if something was designed to do something, but ended up doing something else entirely? So, I'm going to mention a movie that I don't think has ever been mentioned on Sat Bad. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. Because I had the idea of, okay, so you have a robot designed to do one thing and you were wired to do something else. And so you have a couple thoughts that come to your head, but the one you're not thinking of is the ABC Warrior from 1995's Judge Dredd.
I haven't seen that.
Starring Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, a lot of people haven't.
Good reason. You're right.
And actually, the director was put in director jail and never made another movie after that. So... But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, you think I would talk about The Lawgiver or something like that, but The Lawgiver does what it's supposed to do. No, this is there's a robot. It's I say for a movie that does not get a lot of love, and probably would be better if it wasn't called Judge Dredd because people went in expecting something that they did not get. But as a 90s action movie, if you can strip it from that, it's pretty decent. And there's a really amazingly designed robot in there that gets reprogrammed by everybody's favorite 90s star, Rob Schneider.
I was just going to say.
That shows up in the last thing. It's such a cool design on this robot that it really has a nothing role in the whole movie.
No, so I will say
the ABC Warrior.
Dredd has been mentioned. Not Judge
yes, I'm
Dredd.
Sure.
Not
no, but
Judge
not that one.
Dredd.
But not Judge Dredd.
Okay. Wow, that is...
The movie where they try to make you think that Stallone and Armand Assante are identical twins.
Well, there is suspension of disbelief.
Oh, I want to watch that movie again.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? You can on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Even though it's owned by Disney, you can watch it on their competitor, HBO Max.
All right, Rob, what do you bring in here?
All right, so I do have a theme. It's a weird theme. This time it's an actor. And I did some let's just get to this. Here's how I'm going to do them. I'm going to bring out my trailer voice. This is what's going to happen.
Ooh.
The weapon, a stake-mounted pneumatic drill. What am I talking about? That's right. 1996 American action horror film directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Quentin Tarantino. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yes,
Seth Gecko, George Clooney's character.
Yeah.
Then when Steve, when you said mayhem, I'm like, oh no, totally.
Yeah.
He puts a stake on a reciprocating drill and just goes out and takes out vampires.
There's some great weapons in that film actually. So
yeah,
that's. Yes, no, that's nice. That is mayhem. That is definitely that's one I have not seen in a long time. With a rewatch, something that
it is.
Now,
it absolutely is.
They watch it with
the
or
kids.
You could watch they did it as a TV series. I watched the first couple episodes and was like, are they taking the movie and breaking it down into like the first 15 minutes is like the first really episode? Did. And they really went in an interesting direction with that. Yes. All right. So my second unusual weapon of mayhem here is I thought about, who uses unconventional weapons to create chaos, trouble. Villains do. Villains in like cartoons and comic books always have like crazy, ridiculous weapons that they're holding cities hostage with. And none better than what the Joker uses in 1989's Batman Smilex, which holds an entire city hostage. And I still remember, the scenes of the news anchors coming on because they can't bathe or anything. And, so
that is they don't call any attention to it. It's such a nice detail in that movie.
Cause an interesting amount of chaos there with his Smilex in Batman.
Wait, and don't you have a reference? I've referenced that movie more than once during these times about the combinations. Yeah. It's not just this. It's if you use this with this and this. And then it's funny you mention those great scenes of like the newscasters. Well, that's what we're dealing with now. You got people who clearly Stephen Colbert hasn't cut his hair in 5 months, right?
Right. And you're getting to see people's natural hair color when it comes in. I was like, oh, Ryan Reynolds, I didn't realize you were going so gray.
Yes, there where we are. Timely. Very nice.
Yeah.
Right. Kyle. Yeah.
What I mean. All right. So continuing my theme of robots gone wrong. In the city of Detroit.
Okay.
Things get a little tough. So you think you want to have a cop on it, but no. The better idea is to have a fully autonomous with a very friendly name. So I, of course, picked Ed 209 from RoboCop from 1987.
Ed 209. That didn't work out so well.
Did not work out so well, no. But, even in these times, seeing a corporate dick get completely machine gunned down, a little bit of catharsis there.
That's a movie that's got to get in my queue with my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
We got to watch that.
That's been a while. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, that one, you did. Absolutely. Oh, and actually... that has an actor in that movie that has something in common with my next pick.
Okay.
Ooh, nice transition. It's like you're a professional podcaster.
Hold on. And my second movie is also starring Harvey Keitel. If you want to know what was the connecting thread of my movies. What's the weapon? Video editing. What am I talking about? 1993 American crime drama directed by Philip Kaufman, starring Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, Rising Sun. Which is such an awesome movie. And the whole plot is driven. The unconventional weapon of chaos is video editing. Because this Japanese firm is basically, they framed this senator, played by Ray Weiss, who we've met. Kyle and I have actually had the great fortune of meeting. True. And there's just, it's a great 90s movie of something that is just vulgar, graphic, insane, and yet infinitely watchable. Like you watch it and you just go, I got to see where this is going. But video editing.
For those of you who have a societal bent, it does have some old school 90s racism in it too.
So it hasn't aged as well as Blazing Saddles, let's be honest. It's from a different genre at a different time. And who knew? And what's the weapon? Final Cut. Or whatever it was. Yeah. So
and that's one I haven't seen. Somehow I missed that one. I don't know how in the 90s or just
that's when Michael Crichton.
That was when Hollywood would just be like, Crichton, what you got? What you got there? We're gonna make that new movie.
Things in a park kill people? Great. Here's $100 million.
All right. For my final pick, I have to give my wife some credit on this one because she said, well, what's the list? I said this, and she's like, oh, boom. And I was like, what? Huh? Give me a minute to think, right? She said, no, she saw me Googling mayhem because I wanted to make sure I understood what really constitutes mayhem. And she's like, why are you looking at mayhem? That's like chaos. And I go, yeah, I know. She's like, yeah, like in that moment in Ocean's 11 when they set off the pinch and it just blackouts Las Vegas and during the fight in the casino and just chaos everywhere as a distraction. And I thought, well, there's my number one pick there, Ocean's 11, which is it's a classic in our household, totally quotable. Remember still listening to the soundtrack to that in the car when the girls were little and they would just love singing along to Papa Loves Mambo for whatever reason. I don't know. They really dug that song when they were little.
That is one of my all-time favorite movies. That's got to be in my top 10, if not my top 5.
When they set off the pinch in Vegas. There we go. All right, nice. Kyle. We got robots. We got a robot.
We got robots. So the thing that's great about robots is they don't get happy. They don't get sad. They just run programs. Except when they get struck by lightning and suddenly come alive and turn into Johnny Five from Short Circuit.
Oh, what a...
Designed as a killing machine, ends up loving kittens and driving trucks around and dancing.
From the 80s in another movie with some... Watching it and say, is there some weird racism in here by casting Fisher Stevens?
Yeah, there is.
Role?
Yes. Oh, the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna round this out. I'm gonna just preface this by saying though I have two bonus picks, but I had to round out the Harvey Keitel trilogy.
Harvey Keitel and more mayhem.
Yeah. Now this is gonna be weird. This is gonna be deep.
Please don't let it be from Bad Lieutenant.
The weapon. Oh no, I went way deeper than that.
Okay, good. I thought we were going in a different direction. Go ahead.
Is a kiss. What's the movie? Oh, that's right. The 1988 religious drama film directed by Martin Scorsese, The Last Temptation of Christ.
Oh, Rob, that is sacrilegious.
Now, I just want to say, as Jesus looks over my shoulder right here, when I was doing this list and I was going like, oh, wow, I was like Rising Sun. I can totally think of that. And I'm thinking, oh, what's my theme? Oh, Harvey Keitel.
Oh.
I'm thinking, oh, no. Wait a minute. That's totally amazing. So there you go. Okay. So, and of course, if you don't know, Harvey Keitel plays Judas Iscariot. He betrays Jesus Christ, played by Willem Dafoe. Anyway.
Yes.
And then chaos ensues, and it's unconventional weapon. What do you do? All right. So anyway, okay, but I couldn't. I got to just say, these are my two bonus picks. Unconventional weapon, Elvis impersonators. The movie, 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, man, you just gave me a bad 90s flashback.
No, I mean, seriously.
Wow.
Kevin
I was
Costner,
actually in Vegas, the one while they were filming that movie.
Okay, so there's that one. But then I just had to do this one as sentimental. What's the weapon? Beer. What am I talking about? The 1983 Canadian comedy film with SCTV characters Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Well, is it beer or is it a mouse in a beer bottle? Because that actually is what gets them into the brewery,
Hey, where's our lifetime supplier of beer, eh? Where?
Steve, I do. I only had one because it didn't fit the theme, so I didn't use it. So this is a pretty deep cut. Rob, don't take a drink now. You're going to do a spit take.
Let me put the cup down.
It's because the unconventional weapon warfare is actually in the title of the film, which is an adaptation of a television show, which is not in the title of the film, and that's The Nude Bomb from 1980, the Get Smart movie.
Oh.
Yes.
A bomb that destroys people's clothes. Yeah. Unconventional.
How did we not? I mean, we missed Naked Gun, Robotic Reggie Jackson, like all the things.
I must kill.
Things that we missed. Oh, this was such a great topic.
Yeah, I know. They threw it at us like, do that. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
I'm bringing the Judas Kiss.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Number 5 is alive.
So for this coming week, they're going to be talking about Cries and Whispers, 1973 from Ingmar Bergman. So,
man, I wish we had some like
well, raise your hand if you've
recommendations or
seen
some ideas that they had
Cries
left,
and Whispers
but-
fan out there. Anyone seen it?
Ooh, the Cries and Whispers. Anyone? Am I the only hearing crickets?
All
Just
right,
me?
good thing.
Okay.
I'm working my way into Bergman, but I take him like once a quarter. It's about what I pace myself with that.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave us several options.
That old school.
So they gave
angst.
us 6 options, so we can narrow it down. Looking at these, so we've got possibly
We'll follow the rules, Andy.
terminal
We'll play
cancer.
nice. Jeez.
Okay.
Wow.
Terminal cancer. There's things you can think of.
I didn't expect both barrels
Or
at once, Andy.
Very close
Jeez.
family servants. So I guess a close relationship with the family servants. Okay.
Okay.
This is an unusual one. Saturated production design.
Saturated with what? Because a lot of Richard Burton movies are pretty
Or
saturated.
if the terminal cancer wasn't enough for you, we can go with self-stabbing or self-mutilation. Dream sequence.
Is assisted suicide next on the list? Man.
And letting
Bergman.
longtime employees go. So I'm assuming that's one of the close family servants they ultimately have to.
Wow.
So lots of uplifting moments in this film.
Wow. Yeah, apparently. Man.
Wait, can I just say one of them should just be anything involving a whisper. That's it.
Well, you could whisper to let a long-term employee go.
In the title, in the plot. I have cancer. In the background of a scene. Oh, no, there's some meaty stuff there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
So do you?
Wow.
Okay, so let's sort of pare this down. So I think we give them either terminal cancer or self-stabbing or mutilation. I think having both of those as an option is too much.
Or movies where the Grim Reaper shows
so
up.
would you
in
rather
person.
have terminal cancer or the self-mutilation as an option?
So
Yes,
we're doing another
exactly.
game. All right. Which would you rather?
Terminal cancer or self-mutilation?
Boy. Do you get to choose what part you mutilate? Can we do that? Like,
No,
can we like pick a particular
No,
body part?
we're playing by the rules.
Self-mutilation of the earlobe.
I'm just saying, like, it is self-mutilation. Like, people who lose a hand.
No, self-mutilation of the hand?
Right. I'm saying, like, can we, like, direct it?
No,
Like,
you can't. No, it's got to be a wider net than that. I'm actually going to vote for self-mutilation.
There's a lot of. I mean, even phase 2 of the MCU has a ton of people losing their.
Self-mutilation. Terminal cancer is just you're
getting all terms of endearment and weepy, and you want
that one movie with who was the Campbell kid from the early 90s?
Don't help them.
Never mind. Forget that one.
But
No,
we're not
on that
self-mutilation.
show.
We're going
I'm
for
voting for self-mutilation.
Yes.
Self-mutilation. Absolutely self-mutilation.
All right. So then again, we've got the.
Survey says.
So I think these are sort of
Self-mutilation.
apparent. Letting the longtime employees go or very close family servants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like very close
Okay,
family
very
servants.
close
I do too.
There's
Okay.
complexities in that.
Yeah, the long-term employees. I can think of a bunch of those, so
Okay.
I want to make this hard. Of course, the audience is
Right.
going to pick which of those.
Then we have either the
and who's not going to pick terminal cancer?
dream sequences or saturated
Dream
production
sequences.
design.
I don't know what saturated
that's-
production design really means in that case.
Oh, I
so
was
I'm
going to
gonna
say
go
if we don't know
dream
what it is, let's
sequences.
let them figure it out. Let's let the fans vote, and let's then possibly.
Now I'm thinking about the fans. I'm always thinking about the fans.
You want them to have something fun, and then it's up to Pete, Ray, and Tommy to figure it out next week.
Yeah, no, saturated production design, because I think there'll be some cool
I think
picks
so
that.
too, because everybody can think
true.
of a good dream sequence, but if they pay attention, and listen to the show and find out what they're talking about with their saturated production design.
I mean, I already said Judge Dredd, so they can't
I
use
know.
that one.
All right.
I mean, those are some pretty. I mean, the Mega City 1 is pretty
so
impressive.
we got all right. Self-stabbing or mutilation.
They really built that motorcycle.
And then
that
the
you
very
drive.
close family servants and the saturated production design. So all in one go.
HBO Max is going to get a spike in people watching Judge Dredd and go, what's going on?
What's happening here?
And by spike, I mean like 5.
So that's our list. I'll get that posted in Discord. Where are you guys like wrapping things up over there?
We are wrapping it up. This is our last appearance before our final episode of Hulk.
This is it. This is the week. Minute 113 will come in, I think, on Wednesday.
For those of you who have not been listening, we are into the credits, and you'd think, what are they going to do for credits? Well, just so happens that we happen to talk to a person who was in the movie. So we have a 6-part interview. Is it 6 parts or is it 5 parts?
No, I think it's 7.
It's 7. Oh, 7. So you got a 7-part interview with Mr. Terry Notary. And if you've enjoyed any of the latter day Apes movies, you're enjoying his work because he is the main ape trainer for all of those. And also he happened to be in, the highest grossing film of all time, Avengers Infinity War.
Endgame.
Endgame was number 1. He was in both, but in Endgame.
Well, and I think yesterday's episode, which is titled Nightcrawler and 2 Capes Walk into a Bar, that's the episode that goes into some of his beyond Incredible Hulk, some of his incredible comic book movie roles. And
when you look through the stuff, it is amazing all the stuff he did. Like, if you enjoyed how Nightcrawler moved around in X-Men 2, that was Terry Notary. If you enjoyed how the Who's moved in Ron Howard's Grinch movie, that was Terry Notary. Yeah, he is. He's the main guy. If it's not Andy Serkis, it's Terry Notary, and sometimes it's both. We're going to talk about that later in the episode next week.
He was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was just incredible. He talked to us for an hour and a half. You'll hear almost all of it.
Even if you don't like the Hulk movie, man, you're going to want to hear this interview because he really goes in deep in all this stuff.
Some insight from somebody on the production, just hearing their perspective on things. That's a great opportunity. Yeah, definitely going to have to check that out, guys. Well, hey, it's Saturday. Time to get out and enjoy the Phoenix heat of 130-something degrees.
That's right. You got to get out here and go back to streaming panels from
what do we
DC.
call it? Like Fahrenheit Plus out here? Is that what we do?
That's right.
No kidding.
Plus. I think double Fahrenheit double plus. Maybe double plus ultra.
It's great talking with you guys on this Saturday morning, talking movies, talking Princess Bride, Quibi stuff. I'm gonna have to. I have to go check that out. That's my one takeaway. That if I can do that in 10-minute segments, and then I can do your 7-part interview. So I got some good things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
we got your week set up for you. Bored on a Sunday? Boy, have we got a plan for you.
Thank you so much. Great talking with you.
Until next time, true believers.
Bye.